Hey, it's your man, Charlie P. Today we're going to talk about a 62 pip trade that we caught on the Euro CAD using my angel dust strategy. But before we get into that, let me shout out to Hankel Trade and also give you some incentive for anybody who has used my link and is signed up with Hankel Trade and you're trading on a live account. I've got something for you coming up. Probably in the next month, I'm going to do a live trading session, a live Q&A/trading session. So any questions you have, let's answer them. If you've taken a trade that you lost and you don't understand why you lost on that setup, let's look at it together and talk about it. If a trade happens to set up while we on this session, guess what? We can take the trade together. I just want to provide some type of perk or incentive for anybody who's shown me extra love, but don't get it twisted. I appreciate everybody who has subscribed to my channel. But if you want to be included, because I will be able to see your email address if you are a live trader on Hankel Trade, using my link, and I'm going to send out an invite to those emails to this live session. Y'all are the only ones who going to have this link and this invite. So just throwing that out there as a perk to look forward to and a way to say thank you for the additional love and support that you've shown. But Hankel Trade is a great broker, so I suggest everyone sign up with them. Great spreads, great payout time, execution time's good, and you only need $10 to make a deposit with them. So with that said, guys, let's jump into this trade on EuroCAD.
Ooh-wee. Hey, EuroCAD gave me grief this morning. You see these 3 wicks on H1 right there? Those are really big. That's not gonna sound right. I ain't gonna say that. But anyway, those 3 wicks right there on H1, yeah, that gave me some grief this morning. I have waited 3 hours for this trade to finally start moving and get us in a spot where I feel like I'm out of the danger zone, so to speak. So basically, this was an angel dust trade. But just to show you how I got into the trade, this candle, this 15-minute candle, when it was coming up and it grabbed the 50 EMA, I got in on this bottom entry first. Then as price, kept kind of consolidating and jumping around up in here, I eventually took these extra 2 entries up in here. But I mean, as you see, my stop loss was just a little bit higher. It was probably like right here. So I thought I was through, especially on the first entry. I thought I was done for. I was like, golly, I thought this was a angel dust trade. But luckily we held, hung in there and, we made it work. But let me before I break the trade down, let me set a TP first, because I have not done that. So let's go to H4 and zoom out, see where, okay, that's an easy point of interest. So here's our next point of interest where we have a support and a resistance area kind of meeting each other. I would say it would be right here because price bounced off this area here. It passed through it, like it broke through it real strong here, came to a stopping point here and, tested that zone as support, wicked that same zone right here. So I imagine we should come back down into this zone again. So that's where I'm going to set my TPs. We'll just throw it down into the zone. See that one, then that one, and that. How much money is that? Hold on, move this out the way. So this one, let's see, that one's about 9,000 plus 27, so 36 plus another 9, so about 45,000 is what we would be looking at on this trade, on this particular account with my Forex funds. But anyway, I'm gonna let this play out a little bit more, and we'll come back in maybe 2 or 3 hours and check on the progress, and I'll break the trade down in full and give you the full angel dust strategy to show why I took this trade. So of course I go to edit the video where I was showing myself taking profit and realized, like, crap, the video is completely silent because my dumb behind forgot to turn the microphone on when I was recording it. So I'll just put it up in the background or something so you can see where I was taking profit. You can see we took about 20K. Yeah. So let's go ahead and break down. Oh, let me actually show you why I got out where I got out though. So I'm gonna put a line here because that's pretty much where I got out, was right at the bottom. Let me go back to H4. So originally I had my zone drawn out right here for my target. I noticed this over here, this whole cluster of candles on H4 right here. Look how many times it bounced off of this area. That's a lot of bouncing. That let me know that's a that's a probable area that once we get down there over here, is going to start stalling again before it makes its final push down. So I more so saw this happening, and that's why I went ahead and jumped out where I did. So at this point, it's been 2 hours since I got out. You know, these two H1 candles, it's getting late in the day. I said if it came back up into this zone that I might take an additional entry, but at this point in the day, nah, I'm done. I'm just going to take that 62 pips on. It was a 62. It was like 65, 62, and 58 or something was on my 3 entries. So on average between those 3 entries, it was like 62 pips that I caught on that 50 lots that I had on there. So we'll just say 62 pips. But let's break down exactly why I took the trade. Let's break down the angel dust strategy. So rule number 1 on angel dust, we want to trade in the direction of what side of the 144 EMA that we're on, which is the purple line right here. So we're under the 144, so we're only looking for sales in regards to angel dust. Rule number 2, we need price to be coasting along the 10 EMA. It's coasting along the 10 EMA, which is the white line. And at the same time, we need Ehlers Fisher above the 50. Since we're looking for sales, we want that to be opposite. We're trading down, want the Ehlers Fisher above the 50. All right, so that was cool. Third rule, main part of angel dust, PCP, peak center pass. I've drawn this out a couple times, but let me do it again. Let me pull up Microsoft Paint. Peak center pass, we're looking for sales. It's just a fancy way of looking for an M shape. M's are not always this obvious. Sometimes you got a bunch of weird stuff going on. So I like to look at it as peak center pass instead of looking at it as an M. But let's just take this blatantly obvious M so I can break this down. The peak is simply where do you start drawing your M? Most people, when they make an M, they start from the bottom and do it like that. So this would be what I say is the peak. This is going to be your center point. And then when an H1 candle closes past your center point, then that's going to be your pass candle. So let's go back to the chart and let's look at what that looks like on the chart. Let me actually clear this off. All right, so yesterday, price was hovering along that 10 EMA all day long, but it never made like a blatantly obvious move. So when it came down and made this area again, or the last 2 days, I'm sorry, it was hovering along the 10 EMA for the last 2 days. But when it made this area, I started it over. Well, I didn't know to start it over until after it came all the way back up here and started chopping again. So at this point, this became my peak. Remember, it's just the bottom of the M. So this was my peak. Then my center point. Here was one right here. And we had a pass candle here, but the pass candle didn't happen at the right time of day. So now this became my new center point. Then this red candle passed through this one, but it wasn't at the right time of day. So now I just made this my new center point. I'm actually draw a line on this one since I know that the pass candle happened on this one. And then right here, this red candle actually closed past the center point. So now, and this one was at the right time of day, which this happened at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time or 10 o'clock chart time, whichever one you want to go off of. but that was within the proper time of day for the pass candle to happen. So at that point, I effectively had peak, center, and pass. So at that point, angel dust is confirmed. So I just go to M15 and I'm looking for an entry. So it came up, like I told you at the beginning of the video, I hopped in pretty much right around up in this area here initially, and price gave me a bunch of crap. You had to have balls of steel to have stayed in this trade. You definitely have to learn to trust the setup. Like, I was so certain that this was an angel dust trade that I just, like, a year ago, I would have got out the trade. Like, I would have got, my stop loss was somewhere up in this area. As it got closer, I would have just manually exited the trade. I wouldn't have trusted my stop loss. And I just would have got out and then took the L for no reason. But trust your setups. Sometimes you're going to have a lot of drawdown. And now, as you did see, I did enter 2 more entries when it was up here. Again, I was confident in the setup. I had the capital to do it. So I don't recommend anybody, especially if you're newer to my strategies, that you take additional entries. You want to wait till you really have consistency with these strategies before you go doing that. I just really trusted, like, this was an angel dust setup. So, but yeah, I stayed in this thing for 2 to 3 hours waiting on it to take off. Just like, crap, man. Every time it came up, especially right here, I thought I was done for. I'm like, well, I thought it was an angel dust trade, but you know, every strategy ain't 100% effective, or no strategy is 100% effective. So I thought this was just going to be one of that, you know, one of the ones that wasn't going to win. It came down. I got happy as crap right here. And then it shot right back up. I'm like, doggone. So yeah, I got taken on a good little roller coaster ride today, man. But anyway, we're out of the trade. 20K secured on this account in particular, which is what I showed today. So yeah, man, angel dust for the win. I will see y'all on the next one.